So let me break down my sales process for enrolling more clients on a Zoom session with me. And just so you know, I've been selling online over a decade. I've worked with everything from Shark Tank companies to billion-dollar corporations to solopreneurs using this process I'm about to outline for you. So it works. You're going to get some great insights. Let's start off first with mindset. You are the doctor. They are the patient. You're the doctor. They're the patient. They're coming to you with a problem. And so what do good doctors do? Do they sheepishly bow down to the potential patient in their case? No. They ask questions. They ask good questions and lead the conversation. And that's how I see myself on these calls, and I recommend you do as well. You're the doctor. They're the patient. And if you're not leading the conversation with a questions-based framework, you have an inefficient process. You should have that in writing. If you don't have a document or a written document that has the questions you're going to ask during the conversation, I'm not saying to read a script to them or be weird, but you need to know where you want to lead the discussion. If you don't have a written process, you are being inefficient and you are likely losing sales. I've had a written process. I still bring it up before a call and refresh myself with the questions I'm going to ask and ultimately where I'm going to lead the discussion. So have a written process. So the first thing I'm going to do when I get on a call with them is maybe I'll kind of check in briefly with them. I may ask them where they heard of me. It's always good to know where people are coming to you from. I do get that information also on an intake form as well. But I always like to kind of check in. Where did you hear from me? Maybe it was Google. Maybe it was a referral. Maybe it was Chat GPT. I'm starting to get more of those as well. So find out where they heard from you, and then start with an open-ended question. While you want to lead the discussion with good, smart questions in a professional way, you want them to do most of the talking, and you want to really listen. So a good question I'll usually start with would be something like, looking forward to talking. Tell me a little bit more about your business and specifically what you're looking for help with. I'll just start with that. It's a super broad question, and I just want them to start talking so I can listen. So I want to hear more about their business. In this case, I work with other people's businesses. If you work with some other type of person, you would just dig into their situation a little bit, like I just mentioned. So I want to hear about their business. I want to hear what they're struggling, what their challenges are. I want to find out where they are, where they want to go, and what are the obstacles on the bridge to getting there. What can I help them with? That's what I'm looking to identify with. And I'll spend the first, let's say on a 45-minute call with somebody, I'll spend the first 20 minutes or more sometimes going through and really making sure that I understand them and their situation and that they know I understand them. I'll repeat back things to them a lot. That's a good technique. Repeat back the challenges that they're saying, and you want them to say, yeah, that's right, when you repeat things back. You want to almost feel a connection. You want to feel a good feeling or a good vibe before you transition to talking about your services. So 20 minutes or so, maybe even a little bit more, I want to make sure I really have that feeling or that connection with them. And then once I've established that, I'll say this term. And you may have heard of me talk about this in other videos. I'll say, would it be helpful for you to visually see how I help my clients get those results? And they always say yes. And then what I'll do if I'm on Zoom is I'll pull up a visual, like a little couple slides. I don't go into webinar mode or anything, but I share a few visuals to help them understand better how I help people, how to help them improve their situation. And so what do I share on these visuals? I'll actually have a visual representation. I've actually made another video on my channel about this. A visual representation of my method or my model. So if they're coming to me, they want to improve their webinar, I have a model that shows them, I work on the presenter, we work on the offer, we work on the message, and I talk about all of the benefits of my specific methodology that would solve their problem. It positions me as an expert, it positions me as different than others, and it positions me as a professional who has a process in place. And that's what you want people to perceive you as. And so I'll walk them through a visual of my method. I'll walk them through a few social proof elements, little case studies and stuff like that, just real brief, not a lot, but brief. And then I'll share my packages. And usually I have 2 to 3 packages for consulting that I'll offer people on the end, and I'll walk through what those look like. I take my time. I spend no more than usually 5 minutes on this part. And then once I'm done, I'll ask the magic word, which is simple enough, which is, what are your thoughts on that? And then I shut up. The selling is over. The presentation's over. I stop selling. I don't continue to try to talk them into it. At that point, what are your thoughts? And then I listen. And at that point, they'll either say, great, well, package number 1 sounds perfect. Great, let me get you what you need to sign up. That could happen. Or, there may be some kind of question or concern. Now, if there are questions or concerns and I do want to work with them, I may dig in a little bit, and I'll do what's called isolating the objection. I'll say, usually the objections are either fit, finances, or just lack of trust. And so I'll start with fit. I'll say, well, sounds good. I understand having some questions. Is what I shared with you a fit for what you're looking for? And they may say yes, they may say no. If they say yes, or let's just say if they say no, then I could maybe, if I want to work with them, try to work on customizing this. Well, what would you like to see added to this or subtracted from this to make this a fit? And they might tell you, and then you can try to continue to pursue the sale, right? Now, if they say, yes, this is a fit for me, then I would move to finances. So I'd say, oh, well, is it the investment then? Is that a little bit of a stretch or whatever? And they might say, well, yeah, it is. And then if I want to work with them, I could what I call downsell to terms. So maybe if my offer's $5,000 or something like that, I could maybe break that up into 3 payments for them or something like that and ask them, would that be helpful? And they may say yes, and that may move the sale forward. Now, if they say no, or I need to think about it, look, depending on who you're selling, there are some experts online that will tell you got to close in the first sale. I don't find that to be the case, particularly because I work with not just solopreneurs, but as a consultant, I've worked with companies or individuals, team members of companies. They got to go talk to their team, right? They just have to, right? And so it depends a little bit on your market. If you're just selling to solopreneurs, you could push for the sale a little bit more. If you're not, then be flexible with that. Usually if they're saying I need to think about it though, or there's some hesitancy there, they just don't quite trust you enough. And I've made other videos about that. Anyway, if people say yes, great, we get the invoice, whatever needs to be signed, boom, it's done. If they say, well, let me think about it or let me get back to you, I never dunk on people. I never put people down. I say, hey, great, no problem. Is there anything specifically you would need to think through? And they would tell me, again, I'm always looking for kind of what the issue is, if there is an issue. And then they'll usually get back to me in the next day or two if they're going to enroll. If they don't get back to me, usually in the next couple of days, I'll do what I call nudge follow-ups. So I'll just maybe a couple of days later, I'll say, hey, what's the next step you'd like to take on this project? That's the whole email. And then if I don't hear from them, maybe I'll follow up one more time. Hey, I'm going to assume that this has gone on the back burner for now. Let me know if anything changes. These are short little follow-ups that are designed to elicit a response so that if it's a yes or a no right now. And so you never want to lower yourself in the follow-up. You never want to be like, hey, let me know if you have any questions or is there anything I can do to help you? Like, you don't want to lower your status when you're following up with people. So I like these nudge follow-up sequences to just nudge the situation. They sometimes will say, yes, I'm ready. Sometimes they won't. I don't close every deal, but I close a good number of them by following this professional process that I outlined for you. And if you'd like this video and you'd like to learn how to sell in a one-to-many fashion, I put together a free training in the description. You can click on a link there to access a free masterclass, or comment masterclass down below this video and I can send you that link. That's it for this video. Feel free to subscribe if you'd like to get more videos like this. Also, there's a video around my head somewhere that you can click if you'd like to continue learning from me. I look forward to making another one of these videos for you soon. Take care for now.